In my last video about magnesium, I said something almost as a side note that most women are already low in magnesium from stress and diet alone. That one line deserves a deeper dive. So today we're going all the way in on magnesium, why so many of us are running low without even knowing it, the different forms on the shelf, and what each one is actually good for, along with the one mistake I see moms making with theirs more than any other. So, why are so many of us running low on magnesium? There's a few main reasons. Number one, modern soil is more depleted than it used to be. So, even a diet full of vegetables delivers less magnesium than it did a generation ago. The other big piece to this is our nutrition content labels are based on those nutrition levels of 50 years ago. So even when we think we're getting enough nutrition from our food, we're not always getting what we think we're getting. Another main reason is that stress burns through magnesium very quickly. When your body moves into fight or flight, your body uses more magnesium. So if you're chronically stressed all the time, you're going to be chronically depleted from magnesium. Another main reason is everyday habits like caffeine, sugar, even alcohol use all increase how much magnesium your body gets rid of. So if we're getting rid of it, we're not able to actually absorb it. Some common signs that you want to pay attention to that might be signaling that your body needs more magnesium is if you get a lot of muscle cramps or twitches, if you have trouble falling or staying asleep, if you get a lot of tension headaches, constipation, or if you're experiencing that wound up but exhausted feeling. Those are all symptoms that your body is running low on magnesium and you should add some to your supplementation. Here's the part that surprises people. A normal blood test can't rule out that you don't have enough magnesium. Less than 1% of your body's magnesium is actually in your bloodstream. So your labs can look perfectly fine, even though your body is still really needing more. So, this is especially important for the mom who's been told her labs are normal and that she's fine, but she still feels wound up, achy, and wide awake at night. This magnesium depletion is often part of why she's experiencing that. And so, if you supplement with magnesium, you can oftentimes help alleviate some of those symptoms. One word of caution though, not all forms of magnesium are the same. Different forms have different roles in your body and absorb differently into your body. So let's go through those forms right now and help you to understand what you are looking for when you're looking for a magnesium supplement. The first form that's most readily available is called magnesium oxide. This is the cheapest, most common form that you're going to find on in any kind of drugstore multivitamin. This is poorly absorbed and mostly ends up working as a laxative rather than actually raising your magnesium levels. If your label on your magnesium supplement says magnesium oxide, it's really not going to be increasing your magnesium levels very much. Another form is magnesium citrate. Magnesium citrate is well absorbed and gentle. It's a solid everyday choice, but it can have a mild laxative effect at higher doses. So, if you deal with constipation, this might be a good pick. However, magnesium glycinate, which is often called bisglycinate, is a highly absorbable kind and might be a little bit better. Magnesium glycinate is highly absorbable, easy on the stomach, and this is usually the one to reach for if sleep, anxiety, or muscle tension is what you're dealing with. So, I often recommend magnesium glycinate for a lot of my clients. Another form is magnesium threonate, which is research for crossing into the brain more effectively. And this is the one that people tend to reach for when focus and memory is the concern. Magnesium malate is another one that you'll often see in supplements, and that one is often paired with malic acid. and used for energy and muscle soreness more so than for sleep. Another really good option when it comes to magnesium supplements is magnesium oil or lotion or an Epsom salt bath. So these absorb through the skin, which is debated, but I definitely notice a difference when I take a bath in Epsom salts on the muscle tension and soreness. It's also a really good option to use these topical forms when you don't tolerate the oral forms well. So, a key takeaway from this portion is that there's no single best magnesium. The right one depends on what you're actually trying to fix, whether it's sleep, energy, focus, stress, not just whatever's cheapest on the shelf. So, in summary, we want to match the magnesium form of supplement that we take to the goal. So, if you're having trouble sleeping or you're feeling really wound up, you're going to want to take magnesium glycinate. If you're constipated or have sluggish digestion, magnesium citrate is the one for you. If you're experiencing a lot of brain fog or memory challenges, the threonate is the one for you. And I probably am not pronouncing that properly. You want to look for Threonate on the bottle. If you have low energy or muscle soreness, magnesium malate would be a better option. If you have a sensitive stomach that reacts to everything, using a topical form of magnesium would probably be the best option for you. I like to use a magnesium lotion on my kids on their legs. They sometimes get cramps in their calves. I have a lot of really big athletes that are always pounding their legs against the ground with jumps and flips and whatnot. And that magnesium lotion helps to work on that muscle tightness, especially while they're trying to sleep. So, while we're talking about magnesium, let's talk about dosing and when to take it. So, kind of like calcium, when we talked about calcium in the video before, splitting your magnesium dose throughout the day rather than taking it all at once tends to make it work better and sits easier on your stomach. One thing to note with magnesium, it competes with your body for absorption with calcium and iron. So it's a really good idea to space your magnesium supplement a couple hours away from your calcium and iron supplements so that they're not competing for absorption in your body. If you're experiencing loose stools, these are usually the first sign you've taken more magnesium than your body needs. It's not usually dangerous for most people. It just means you should back off the dose a little bit. Again, I want to remind you that although I am a certified natural health professional, I am not your healthcare provider. So, this is general education and not medical advice. If you have kidney concerns or are taking prescription medication, make sure you're speaking with your doctor or practitioner before you add a new supplement. The one more piece that I want to talk about with magnesium that you're not going to find on a label. Magnesium and stress feed each other in both directions. So, when you are in a state of fight or flight or a chronically stressed state, like many moms, especially here in America, are, that stress depletes your body of magnesium. And when you have low levels of magnesium, it's harder for your nervous system to actually downshift out of that high alert fight or flight stage. So, this can turn into a cycle where you're supplementing, but you can't ever quite catch up because you have an underlying stress response that's still running the show. I go much deeper on the nervous system piece in another video. I'll link it in the comments if you want the full breakdown. In summary, I want to talk about what you need to look for if you are considering supplementing with a magnesium supplement. First and foremost, form. You want to match the form to your actual goal, not just whatever magnesium is cheapest on the shelf or closest to you. Dosing, you want to split that dose multiple times throughout the day instead of just one large dose. But you need to keep in mind that you want to take it separate from calcium and iron. So, a couple hours away from calcium and iron is ideal. Another option, if taking magnesium orally is a challenge for you, or if you just want a gentler option, you can also consider a topical form like a magnesium lotion, magnesium oil, or even an Epsom salt bath. So, if a wound up nervous system might be part of why you cannot get ahead of this, here's the thing: you don't need to add 10 more things to your routine to fix it. Take my free quiz, the link's in the comments below. It takes 2 minutes and shows you exactly which route, whether it's your body, your habits, or your mindset, that actually needs your attention first so that you're not guessing anymore. And subscribe because next up in this series, we're going to be talking about methylation and B vitamins, which is another piece that almost nobody explains simply. But when you get this, it usually makes the most dramatic change in my clients' energy levels. So, links are down below. Make sure you subscribe so you catch that next video. Thanks for watching.